I have a simple assignment this morning, and the assignment is to gradually take you on a journey. So I might be a little bit gradual this morning. I will be sharing with us on what I title Building a Solid Nation. Building a solid nation. Building a solid nation. One of the questions that will come to your mind is, why is this topic all about a nation? I'm not a nation, so why should my preacher this morning be addressing me on nation building? Where we read in Genesis 25 verse 23, he said, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. Genesis 25 and 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from the bowers, and one shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. God was speaking to Rebekah when Rebekah went to inquire. Suddenly there was a bubbling in her womb, noise and drag, and she became so confused. So she went to inquire, and God said to her, indeed you are going to have twins. And now there are 2 nations in your womb. So God was calling Jacob, Esau, nation. So when God looks at an individual, he doesn't look at that individual alone. You see the generation that is connected to the loins of that individual. So God called Jacob a nation. He called Esau a nation. So when I'm talking about building a solid nation, I'm not just only talking about our country, Nigeria. I'm also talking about you as an individual, because we see here that God referred to the nation as Esau and Jacob. Then he said in the big part of the prophecy that 2 manner of people shall be separated from their loins. 2 manner of people shall be separated. He said one shall be stronger than the other. We've seen most powerful countries, the economy is good. We've seen how things are being run. So we say they are stronger nation. When we look at Africa, we begin to classify most of the nations under Africa as underdeveloped nations, because we are still trying to develop. Every nation can be built. Every nation can be built. Every nation can experience a change if the citizens believe in their nation. Nigeria is celebrating our 51st independence, and yet we are not free from so many things. We might claim that we have gotten independence, but we find out that the economy is failing. We have talks as politicians, and we find out that 60 to 70% of our politicians are either attending one church or the other, and yet they belong to a church system, and yet we have the ratio of corruption so very high. We can see that the poor is getting poorer and the rich are getting richer. In a country so much endowed with natural resources, endowed with potentials, gifted people, when you go out of the shores of this country, you find out that most best surgeons are from Nigeria here, and they are not really giving their services here in this country because the environment of the economy is not conducive for them. But I want to charge us that if the believers in this country want a better nation, we must rise up towards building a better nation. I disagree with people when we keep saying the building of the nature of the country or of a nation is in the hands of our government. No. I want to show you what nation building is. I want to show you that we can start, and just a little drop of water can make a difference in Nigeria. The church is sleeping while the mighty falling and the weapons of war perishing. We find out the ratio of poverty in a country that is so full of resources and wealth. So full of resources and wealth. A single individual will buy a house in Asokoro in Maitama, 700 million, 800 million. But there are citizens in that same country who don't have food to eat. The resources we have is so much good and is so much enough that if shared all around, poverty will be eradicated in Nigeria. But we have so much selfish leaders who want to sit down, want to eat alone. We have a country we're celebrating our independence, but yet the people are still in slavery. The people are still